Now I'm going to take few industry examples and talk about what projects, what industries have Six Sigma penetration. Manufacturing, I want to start with manufacturing because that is where Six Sigma started. And in manufacturing, discrete manufacturing companies, particularly companies which are making consumer electronic products and automotive component products, extensively deploy Six Sigma. Most organizations have some form of Six Sigma, the other in the organization, or Lean. So the penetration of Six Sigma is very high in this industry. Next is process industries. In process industries, we have continuous production such as mining, such as beverage, food and beverage, and many of the other kind of industries where there is continuous production of products. Six Sigma plays an important role in driving efficiency, and the penetration is good there as well. Infrastructure is an evolving market for Six Sigma, I should say. A lot of companies in the infrastructure side which do EPC kind of engagements. When I say EPC, it's more about engineering projects, large scale procurement and projects. So those organizations are finding how they can use or leverage Six Sigma. So that's an evolving industry for Six Sigma penetration. Engineering product development, what we call as design for Six Sigma, DFSS. So the design for Six Sigma is prevalent in industries where they develop engineering products. If you happen to work for any of these industries, I'm sure you will vouch for what I'm talking about right now. So what kind of projects come up in manufacturing? I have a list of projects on the screen here. We have projects relating to plant efficiency and improvement. It could be projects which are relating to flexibility and model mix. There could be opportunities relating to enhancement of production capacity, defect reduction, first time right, and initiatives relating to cycle time improvement, reduction in wastes, etc. So there are amply many projects that are being run in manufacturing, and these are just some of the projects that are most common. Service sector penetration, and in the service sector you find that Telecom of late is one of the biggest adopters of Lean and Six Sigma. You have banking where Six Sigma has penetrated for the last 10 years or so. Comes along with banking is insurance. The other industry where Six Sigma is certainly penetrating is IT. IT was more inclined towards CMM, but many of you who are from IT will appreciate that the CMM level 5 talks about defect prevention, and defect prevention is essentially to do with Six Sigma, the means which are specified more in the Six Sigma than in CMM. So in organizations with IT certainly do use Six Sigma. I'm going to take 3 or 4 different industries, and I'm going to get talking about the projects that are being driven in that industry. Telecom, for example, Telecom largely talks about churn reduction projects. Churn is where the customer leaves the organization, goes to a competitor. So churn reduction projects, improvements in service levels, reduction in repeat complaints. How do you reduce the complaints for customers? ARPU improvement. ARPU, if you're from Telecom, you might understand this terminology. It stands for the average revenue per user or per subscriber. So improvement in the revenue per subscriber is one of the key metrics that many telecoms focus on. Reduction in errors, primarily errors relating to billing, processing, etc. And many other projects are common in the telecom sector. This is just to give you a flavor. So the idea is not here to list down all the projects, but the idea is to give you an idea of how various industries deploy Six Sigma. So that's the intention here. In banking again, churn reduction is one of the critical projects. In banking, they focus a lot on their income, the interest income that they derive from this. In addition to telecom, in banking, error reduction is one of the key factors. So then they talk about cross-selling and upselling. In banking, you know that upselling is very critical. So that's important metric as well. So that's about banking. Let's move on. I want to briefly talk about IT. In IT, the emphasis is more on defect reduction. It's about time to market. A lot of companies use time to market. Reduction in defects, of course, at various legs of the journey, maybe at UAT level or maybe at the production level or at the customer level. So defect reduction as a concept is very critical in IT. Many times, once the IT system is put in place, there might be exceptions, and we want to reduce the exceptions. These exceptions are usually handled as manual interventions, and we want to find out ways through which we reduce this manual intervention and make it a straight-through process. So many IT organizations deploy Six Sigma in that area as well. And then the traditional metrics or measures that IT focuses on, schedule and effort. So how do you manage the deviation that happens between in schedule and effort? I think many companies run projects on those as well. So those are largely some of the examples that I want to speak of. What I want to do is to kind of emphasize that the intention of this class is to get you closer to your own employer, to your own organization, to your own industry. So I want you to introspect. What I want you to do is to look at industries that are adjoined to your own industry. Find out if Six Sigma is relevant to those industries, which competitors of yours are already doing Six Sigma. So you may want to find out a little bit about that by speaking to some of your friends, by doing a little bit of research on the internet. And once you do that, you might be in a better position to conclude whether Six Sigma in the form that I am talking about, or a small variation or a modification of Six Sigma is relevant in your industry. So what I'm going to request you to do is, I want you to primarily go and do a little bit of research for your own industry, find out which companies are adopting Six Sigma and what are their success and failures and what kind of approach are they using, etc., etc. So this is more of an open-ended research, and I think it will certainly be helpful for you, because if someone asks you why are you learning this, then you need a convincing answer, not just to them but for your own self. And so this course is certainly going to be, this assignment is certainly going to be helpful in that direction.